Welcome to ShiftWatch. I'm your host, Starbuck. In this episode, I found this current video featuring James Gilliland talking about what's coming and multidimensional contact. Just more validation of what's taking place. Next, Dr. Tamitha Skov discusses the latest long-duration events and a look at what's coming around the sun's limb that had been growing on the far side. Then, Rhonda shares her experiences with light code receiving, and then the process of exchanging these codes with others who are ready. And finally, while we illuminate some of the inner Earth cities, here is a look at Shonshe, a Lemurian colony beneath Tibet, well known for its pools and sacred waterfalls. Soon, these areas will be accessible to us as the Earth's vibration raises to match the frequency of these planes.
No one can stop this. I'm just the messenger. Most masters from all cultures and religions speak of universal law, universal peace, brother-sisterly love, individual freedom, and prosperity for all. All religions were designed originally to unify the people to live in peace and harmony with each other and nature. Sadly, most governments and religions have been compromised. They divide the people and perpetuate war, disease, enslavement, and poverty ruled by self-serving oligarchs. This is all coming to an end, and no one can stop what is coming. Many who have been blessed with abundance realize this and are shifting their energies and assets towards the planetary liberation, the awakening and healing process. If one is filled with lust for power and wealth at the expense of humanity and the earth, they will not be frequency specific. They will not fare well in the days to come. Most will lose everything, their kingdoms and their lives. They will not make the ongoing shift, the rise in frequencies, and that is exponentially increasing. If you want to know your future, just be brutally honest with yourself, with impeccable integrity. Look at your words, your beliefs and actions, measure them against universal law. All actions outside of universal law will create a reaction. Some call it karma. Now is the time to direct assets and energies towards the Great Awakening, the planetary liberation of humanity and the earth. This will determine your future. I want to share a little secret concerning contact. Contact with off-world visitors and higher dimensional beings has been going on for over 450,000 years on Earth. Your prophets, saints, and sages, those that rose to the occasion, had contact. It's the same today as it was yesterday. Reason this, disclosure has been going on for 70 plus years. It has evolved to, are UFOs real? To a fuzzy tic-tac. There are people being contacted. They know all about the intentions and cultures of off-world beings. Many know them by their names personally. I'm going to let you in on another secret. The Earth has been colonized by star nations since it could sustain life. Many had to start over as primitives due to cataclysms from great wars to massive volcanoes, eruptions, tsunamis, and pole shifts. These megaliths are greeting cards from the past. These ancient ancestors are returning. They are contacting now as before those who have risen to the occasion, those who live a life in service, those who live according to universal law, and those who are kind and loving. These are the people being contacted. Are they real? Who are they? And why are they here? We should all be unified, not divided. This is soon coming to a close, and humanity and the earth will be liberated. It's time to ask the question, why would anyone block contact with advanced races that have transcended war, disease, and poverty? In the interests of national security, wouldn't it be wise to align with the benevolent ones? Those possessing the real power, the real wisdom, the highest levels of technologies. Good hard look at the morality and integrity challenge leadership presently on Earth answers that question. why this knowledge has been kept from all of us. As will be revealed, the masks are all coming off. You know, the deception and tyranny are coming to a close, and it's the destiny of humanity and the earth to join the greater family of man throughout the multiverse. Efforts against this are in vain. Those participating in it will experience the boomerang effect. They will not be happy campers in their light review, so it's best to make amends beforehand. People keep asking what these benevolent off-worlders are saying. This is it. No one can stop this. I'm just the messenger.
We've got some new regions on the sun's far side that have been firing big solar flares, and they could be solar storm producers. The stories and more are in this week's Spotlight. Space weather this week calms down a little bit compared to last week. We have been dealing with some solar storms. One of them was launched on the 23rd. It was a northward pointing filament. The next one is here on the 26th. You can see the ribbons opening up like that. That was a filament that launched to the south of Earth. Both of these were expected to be glancing blows and not really give us all that much, but they actually had some sustained southward fields in them, and they were moving really, really slowly. So it made Earth kind of bathe in this aurora generating stuff for several days and gave us actually some pretty good shows. Outside of that, however, we really haven't been having all that much activity. We've been watching region 3796, 3799, and 3800. They've been giving us some low-level M-class flares at R1 level radio blackouts, but believe it or not, they've been more bark than bite. We haven't had all that much from them. On top of that, we've been watching region 3806. This region has been busy on the sun's far side, giving us big solar flares. In fact, as it started to rotate into Earth view on the 28th, it fires off a beautiful solar storm launch. However, it's not Earth directed, but it does look like this region could be giving us more activity, and so we're going to be watching it as it rotates into the Earth strike zone here over the next couple days. Now, on top of that, region 3807 is growing quite quickly. You can see it right here. It hasn't been giving us any really big flares yet, but we are watching it because it is in the Earth strike zone right now. On top of that, we've had a little bit of a solar storm launch from this region in here, but not all that much going on. The big story really are some regions on the sun's far side. Here is a near M4 class flare from one of those regions. We'll talk about that more in a minute. That's a returning region. And on top of that, we've had here's a near M2 class flare. This is once again from the STIX instrument on solar orbiter that's looking at the sun's far side. This is coming from a region that's in the north. In fact, as we take a look at the flare locations on the sun's far side from the STIX instrument, you can see here, this is the region that was giving us the near M4 class flare. Here's one that was giving us the near M2 class flare. These two regions are about to rotate into Earth view. So they're just out of view on the Earth's east limb, just behind the east limb. They'll be rotating into Earth view here in the next couple days, and we'll talk more about them in a minute because they could be big solar flare producers and big solar storm producers.
There were 4 of us that would do meditation, and we would get together and just raise the vibration, send it around the planet. I started getting these light codes in my third eye. I didn't know what it meant. I just said, oh, that's pretty. And so that happened for a couple of years. And then I also have 42 Vogel crystals with lights and everything that I lay under. And that connected to, they said some of the ships are made out of those.
Yes.
And so, and then I got all tangled with Marcel Vogel and all, research and all that, but I go under those crystals, and other people do too. I think that connected some to the light codes. But then what started happening when I would do energy work with people, the light codes, and this just started maybe 6 months ago, would come through my third eye and my hands into the people. But then I don't know what it means. Like, what is this happening? Do I need to know what it means? And I might say, well, you received some light codes, and it doesn't happen every time. And they'd be like, what does that mean? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
They have to be ready on the other side to receive whatever it is that you're giving. But I don't want to interrupt you because I want to hear the rest of what you have to tell me. I had that same sensation maybe in the spring, where I had some interactions with a couple people who are quite advanced on their spiritual journeys. And I hold them in high regard because when I hear them, I could tell what's authentic that comes out of them. They're not trying to spew anything for anybody to believe. They're just explaining, the nature, the energy that they're feeling. So in my mind, there's nothing these people need from me, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but both of them reached out. One
was that the couple? I saw the podcast with the couple.
No, these were a couple of individuals before that really got my attention, because I, like you, have been carrying something that I was given in September of 2022. I was told I was going to be carrying these and that they would blossom when the time was right. It was made clear back then, many things need to line up before that happens. But I had it. Then these physical interactions I had with the light beings and what sensations I felt from that, I knew what I was carrying and where I got it and how that took place. Then I realized it was my obligation to pass that along to others. So some get those codes when they hear me. Some, it's more effective in my mind when there's a physical exchange. Doesn't need to be touch, but there's a presence that when we're together, that type of energy exchange is totally different. In my mind, that's what I'm supposed to be doing next.